Hello doctors, welcome back. Previously we have discussed the muscles of the anterior compartment of arm region. In this lecture we will discuss the muscles of the posterior compartment. Student, there is only one muscle in the posterior compartment of the arm, the Triceps Brachii muscle. Student, the Triceps Brachii muscle has three origin, or it has three head. The medial head or the long head, the lateral head or the short head, and one located deep to these two head, the intermediate head. Student, the origin of the long head is infraglenoid tubercle. The infraglenoid tubercle is a rough elevation located inferiorly to the glenoid cavity. This is the glenoid cavity, and here this elevation, this is called the infraglenoid tubercle. So the long head of the Triceps Brachii muscle originates from the infraglenoid tubercle. Now student, the lateral head or the short head of the Triceps Brachii muscle originate from the posterior surface of the humerus bone. This is the humerus bone. So this is the posterior surface of the humerus bone. The short head of the Triceps Brachii muscle originates from this region. Here this is the spiral groove. So the short head originates above the spiral groove, while the intermediate head, this is the intermediate head of the Triceps Brachii muscle. So it originates from the posterior surface of the humerus bone but below the spiral groove. The short head originates from the posterior surface but above the spiral groove, while the intermediate head also originates from the posterior surface but below the spiral groove. All these three heads run inferiorly and combine form a single muscle which insert on the olecranon process of the ulna bone. Student, this is the ulna bone, and this process here, this is the olecranon process. Now student, moving toward the blood supply of the Triceps Brachii muscle. The Triceps Brachii muscle is supplied by the profunda brachii artery, which is also called the deep brachial artery. Student, the profunda brachii artery arises from the brachial artery. This is the brachial artery. So this branch arises posteriorly from the brachial artery. Here you can see. So the profunda brachial artery is present in the posterior compartment of the arm region and supply the Triceps Brachii muscle. Now student, moving toward the innervation of the Triceps Brachii muscle. Student, the Triceps Brachii muscle is innervated by the radial nerve. This highlighted nerve, this is the radial nerve. This radial nerve originates from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. Now student, moving toward the action of the Triceps Brachii muscle. So the Triceps Brachii muscle, as it's present in the posterior compartment, so it plays an important role in the extension of the forearm at the elbow joint. Now student, as we have discussed the anatomy of the Triceps Brachii muscle, now we will overview the muscle. As we have discussed, the Triceps Brachii muscle has long head which originates from the infraglenoid tubercle. The lateral head, which is also called the short head, it originates from the posterior of the shaft of the humerus bone, while the medial head or the intermediate head, which is located deep to the long head, and the short head, it originates from the lower half of the posterior of the shaft of the humerus bone. Student, these three heads run inferiorly and combine form a single muscle that insert on the olecranon process of the ulna at the elbow joint. The action of the Triceps Brachii muscle is, it is the extensor of the forearm at the elbow joint. The profunda brachii artery, which is also called the deep brachial artery, supply the Triceps Brachii muscle. Student, the Triceps Brachii muscle is innervated by the radial nerve. The radial nerve originates from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. So student, this was all about the muscles of the posterior compartment of arm. In next video lecture, we will discuss the anatomy of the muscles of forearm region.